Bam! Jayson Waller here with the BAM Podcast. That's right, Business and Money Podcast. You want to make money? You want to conquer business? You want to go ahead and get that mindset right to take you to the next level and level up? You got to listen to the show. We're going to have all kinds of guests on there, billionaires, millionaires, athletes, actors, you name it. We're going to have them on here. They're going to be talking about their success, their struggles, their life, their hardship. I'm going to talk about my success, my struggle, my life, my hardship. So tune in. Bam! Jayson Waller here with the BAM Podcast. That's right, Business, Attitude, and Money. It's a top 5 podcast. I appreciate all the subscribers, the listeners out there to make this a top 5 business, entrepreneur, and motivational podcast out there. Super excited. I have got Facebook Live going as we are cutting the show right now. No edits, live, real, and raw. This episode will come out sometime next week or the week after. I have got my Riverside FM right here in front of me on my computer as I am recording the show. But I am live here on Facebook as well. So check it out. If you're not subscribed right now to the podcast or the YouTube channel, go ahead and click subscribe. Make sure you follow me, Jayson Waller Bam on Instagram and Jayson Waller Bam on Facebook, so you can see some of these lives before the show comes out. I've got some bomb-ass guests coming up soon too. A couple rappers, a couple movie stars, NFL athletes, business owners, entrepreneurs, celebrities. I mean, it's going to be exciting. However, today's show right now is going to be about being held hostage. What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean being held hostage? I'm going to explain it to you. That doesn't mean you're held at gunpoint and that somebody's, kidnapped you or put you in a bad situation. Obviously, that's what it feels like. But being held hostage is it comes in different fucking forms. It comes in the form of you're being held hostage in business because somebody works for you that you've got to sit there and tolerate their inappropriateness, or being held hostage where they put you in the corner and you're going to have to be manipulated to do whatever they want you to do. Think about this. You get your best sales rep and he's like, hey, pay me more, I'm going to leave. And you don't have a backup. You don't have a bench. You don't have number 2 or 3 or 4 sales rep that can catch up and do that. You didn't build a system to mitigate that opportunity for them to hold you hostage. And what does that mean? Well, that means that sales rep's basically dictating to you, hey, pay me this or I'm leaving. You ever see, like on a football team, a quarterback can hold the team hostage. They don't get a backup. They don't draft the right guy. The reason why these GMs go out and draft the right guy is they don't want to be held hostage on contract negotiations or be put in a salary cap situation in the future. It's the same thing in business. Also, being held hostage could be you're stuck in a relationship you don't want to be in. Could be a spouse, could be a girlfriend, a boyfriend, could be a family member that's blood related, could be a friendship, could be a toxic business relationship. There are different ways all over the place where you can be held hostage. I'm going to start first on the business sector of that. Think about this. You're building a company and you've got one salesperson. You build the business, you get rolling, and you got one salesperson. That's it. Guess what? When you only have one salesperson, you're held fucking hostage. That's exactly right. Because if that one salesperson doesn't show up tomorrow or gets hit by a bus or decides they want to make more money or decides they want to do things their own way and not your way, your company way, everything's about the brand and your company, then what happens? You're held hostage. You're held by the short hairs. You're handcuffed to give that sales company, to give that sales rep everything you want. I coach different entrepreneurs right now, and a lot of them, their ecosystem's messed up. What does that mean? That means they're held hostage waiting for someone to do something for them as a part of that. Your ecosystem in business should be you're able to provide deals, you're able to manage the deals, you're able to execute, process, install, or give a service for the deal, and then you're able to get paid for the deal. You got to own the entire ecosystem when you're running a business the right way. Now, a lot of businesses, they flourish and they have to be hooked, hitched, or held hostage to other parts of that. Somebody doing the sales, they're doing the installation. Somebody doing the installation, they're doing the sales. Somebody doing the financing, they're doing this. You get the point. The point is if you don't want to be held hostage in business, I'll get to the life one in a minute. I'll get to the relationship one in a minute. But in business, if you don't want to be held hostage, then you've got to build a bench strength. You have got to have, I'm not a big believer in have a plan B and a plan C, but damn it, in your organization, you need to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. I'm real big on building a monster bench strength. What does that mean? That means if I've got a top sales person, I want them to train another top salesperson and another top salesperson. And when you get somebody that's like I don't want to share my secrets. And why am I replacing, hiring and training my replacement? Motherfucker, so you can move up in the company. That's why. Because you don't want to stay the same, do you? No, I don't want to stay the same. Right. So you're going to train your replacement. They're going to move up. You're going to move up. Then they're going to train their replacement. You're going to move up. They're going to move up. They're going to move up. They have to have that mentality. If they don't have that mentality, if they don't think like that, you need to move on from them. Because they're about themselves. They're not about the brand. Everything is always about the company first and the customer. It's not about the person, the individual, or any of that. It is about the company and the customer. That's what it's about. So it's all got to jive. So you've got to make sure that you've got the bench strength there. I'm talking sales first. You got to make sure that you're not held hostage. I know when I did door knocking back in the day in home security, we would build these van teams. Think about this. We're driving around and we're offering home security systems. We'd knock on your door, knock, 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 knock. Be like, hey, Mr. Jones, how are you doing? How many cars come by this road every day? Oh, about 30. Fantastic, Mr. Jones. If I put this sign in your yard, I'm going to get you a free security system. I'm going to get it monitored for you. I'm going to do all these things, get you GSM radios in case the bad guys cut the phone line. I'm going to do all this for you, get you a camera all installed for free. The only thing you pay for the monitoring, it's about $2 a day. Where's a place we can sit down? Bam, done, Denzo, like it was done, right? So I trained that in home security. The problem with that is if you get one guy in your small business and you're only hiring one person to sell, if that motherfucker feel like don't come into work tomorrow, doesn't want to sell anything, or he's lazy, or he's out partying, because there's a problem. Look, I came from door knocking, so no disrespect to door knockers, but you have got to fucking be a monster. Like, I'm hungry to be successful, and I take no shit, no prisoners to be a door knocker. But some door knockers are fucking shitbags. And so when you get these shitbags that make their money and they party all weekend, they don't show up to work Monday, guess what you are? If you only got one or two of those door knockers because you're building a business, you're handcuffed, you're held hostage to those two door knockers that didn't show up to work. Or if the door knockers want to get cute and they're like, hey, fuck that, company makes this, I want to make more money, pay me or I'm leaving. And guess what? If you haven't developed a bench strength of more salespeople, guess what you're doing? You're stroking a bigger check because you're held hostage to them. It's the same thing that happens in sports all the time. And that's why smart GMs, they draft the future for two reasons. One, to negotiate the contract on the one they've got, or two, let that guy go and they've got a replacement. Bench strength. They're not going to be held hostage. How many teams do you see get held hostage overpaying somebody? It's the same concept in business. And it doesn't just have to be on the sales side. It can be on a production side. It can be anything. I am a big believer of growing within the business, meaning you start here, you move up to here, you move up to here. So when someone comes into the business, they go, oh my gosh, I see all those people. They've been here. You've been here 2 years. They've been promoted 4 times. They've been here 5 years. They've been promoted 8 times. I see it. I see the opportunity. I see the career opportunity tree that I can grow. That's exciting. You want to show that. I'm a big believer in that. But the second reason I'm a believer in that is they're training their replacement. They're buying in. Hey, I'm going to teach you all the shit you need to know to be the best of the best, to be me. So therefore, if I make enough of me, if I make 2 or 3 of me's, I can move up and manage 3 of me's. And then I make 3 or 4 more of those, then I can move up and manage those 3 that manage these 4. Like, that's how you build. Think of MLM, but without MLM. Like, we would have, I'll give you an example. We were in, at our peak, 27 different cities. That's right. Power Home Solar / Pink Energy at one time was in 27 cities in 17 states. So we had 27 district managers and 27 assistant district managers. Why would you have so many? I'm going to tell you why. Because if John Doe or Lucy Smith decide to fucking leave and they're a district manager, guess what? My location's assed out. But if I've got an assistant DM sitting in there that can be their replacement, oh my gosh, we don't miss a beat. That city still flourishes. You're building bench strength. I'm not held hostage. I'm not handcuffed to somebody. That's important, to not be handcuffed in business. Again, I'm going to get to listen, I got some people jumping in on Facebook. I'm going to get into the relationship part of being held hostage. I'm going to get into that. So bear with me a few minutes, but let me finish the business aspect of this. So you're in a business and you're building it and you've got salespeople. I'm starting with sales first. The reason I'd have 27 district managers and 27 assistant district managers is simple. If I wanted to open up location number 28, I've got 27 assistant district managers to choose from. So I can have a meeting with the 27 district managers, the big dogs, right? And I could say, hey, out of all your assistants, what 3 are the best we can interview that's willing to move and open up a new location? Because that's how we built the business. We're like, oh my gosh, this guy. And guess what? Now, all of a sudden, we're interviewing 3 candidates that are willing to move. We built our bench strength. They're going to replace them with an assistant district manager who's ready to move up. Everyone wants to move up in a company. And then that assistant district manager now becomes a district manager in a new city. We put that in place, not only on the sales side, on the production side, on the customer service side. We did that all the time in every part. Why? Because we did not want to be held hostage. We didn't want to be held hostage to pay someone more. We didn't want to be held hostage to where we had a hole in our business. We didn't want to be held hostage to where we had a gap in how we grow our business and something happened. We just didn't want to be held hostage. We wanted to always teach people to train the replacement so they can grow in the company. That's the business aspect of it. I did it in door knocking. Like it was like door knocking. When we did all the door knocking, it was hard to do. You'd have a van manager and reps. And then, we had call centers back in the second alarm business I had. We had call centers in China and Pakistan. That is hard to do. So when we built Power Home Solar / Pink Energy, I said, look, we're going to do all digital marketing and we're going to be able to create bench strength and not be held hostage to salespeople.